leaving for work in 30 minutes. Let's talk some Smackdown. So, last night, Smackdown was live to tape, and we started off with Miz TV. And basically, the guests tonight are Sheamus and Randy Orton. Miz says their lives have been turned upside down now that Ryback's been removed from their team, which I'm happy about because obviously I didn't want him on. I wanted his match with Mark Henry to happen, and it's going to. So we all win. Basically, Orton and Sheamus both admit they would have had their behinds kicked on Monday if it wasn't for the Big Show. But despite not trusting him, Orton says they need him on their side. Sheamus is just a little bit more skeptical when it comes to that as well. But this brings out the Big Show to state his case. Basically, Miz says Big Show can't be trusted. He should know they're former tag team partners. And of course, we know what happened the last time that they broke up their tag team. Miz got knocked out. He got the knockout punch. Big Show grabs a mic and says he's dated women bigger than the Miz. Okay. So Big Show says they don't need to get along. He can't stand Sheamus or Orton. But if they stand united, they can defeat the Shield. Sheamus wonders how he can trust the Big Show not to tuck his tail between his legs and run if things get too tough at Mania. So, Randy Orton is the voice of reason. Randy Orton is the voice of reason. Let's say this again. Randy Orton is the voice of reason. You know the guy that kicks people in the skull? And the guy that'll go off like that? Yes, he is the voice of reason of this group. Makes me think something's up. They are going to pull the trigger on that heel turn at WrestleMania, so hopefully they will because that's what Randy Orton wants. Now, as it's getting extremely intense between all three of them, Booker T comes out and he announces all three men will team up tonight in a tune-up match for WrestleMania, but they don't announce who their opponents are going to be. And don't read the spoilers, don't need to see anything, they're going to face three-man band. That's usually how it works. So basically, this worked pretty well, and there's a lot of tension between the three guys right now. And decidedly so, because you got two babyface, well, you have a babyface, you have a tweener leaning towards the heel, and you have a heel, all in the same stable, but they all have one common goal, and that's to take down the Shield. And the reason why the Big Show works best as tag team partner for Sheamus and Randy Orton is the fact that he is the only man that has knocked out one of the members of the Shield when he punched out Roman Reigns a couple weeks ago. So, needless to say, he's got the upper hand, so that'd be the person that I want on my team. We come back from commercial break, and Zack Ryder's in the ring, which I'm happy he's getting television time, but he's about to get squashed, and here comes Mark Henry. So basically, he hits the big splash in the corner, he toys with Ryder a bit, tossing him around like a rag doll, hits the world's strongest slam, and it's over. So basically, he does it again, and basically, he just leaves Zack Ryder laying in the center of the ring. Of course, the incessant Phoebe Moore chants start. And Ryback's music starts, and here he comes out to the ring. They have a stare down in the center of the ring. The crowd is electric, as much as they can be, I guess. And they charge at each other. Ryback catches him with the meat hook clothesline. Henry powers to the outside. And we've got some more intensity leading to their match at WrestleMania. But don't forget, we're only 2 weeks away from Mania. Literally 2 weeks from today is WrestleMania, because it is Sunday. So backstage, Teddy Long tells Booker T he took it upon himself to book Henry and Big Show for WrestleMania with Vicky Guerrero instead of Booker T. Booker says, no, I don't like how you handled your business. You work for me, Teddy, not Vicky Guerrero. And then Teddy Long retorts with, whoa. Slow your roll, playa. I thought I worked with you. And Booker T doesn't look very pleased. Interesting. I'm interested to see what this is going, because Booker T's about to be inducted in the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame, so who knows what's going to happen from here. Speaking of that, right after we get back from commercial break, we get his Hall of Fame induction video, and I'm happy to see all sorts of things that were used. And they brought up the Ebony Experience, they brought up Harlem Heat, they brought up when Booker was wearing the Breathe Right nose strip on his nose, and basically his storied career in everything except for what he did in TNA, because that's the only thing that wasn't covered. Everything else was covered. His 6 World Heavyweight Championships, his numerous time Tag Team Championships, his World Television Championship, his United States Championship, and of course, even the famous Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you! Yeah, I don't know how that slipped in, but it's there. So we come back from this, and we get another match. Second match of the evening between Mr. Money in the Bank, Dolph Ziggler, of course, with Big E Waste of Space Langston, and the beautiful AJ Lee in his corner, taking on the going nowhere fast Kofi Kingston, the faking Jamaican. So basically, AJ joins in for commentary, and she sits Indian style on the announce table. I want to be JBL at this moment. That's the truth. So we come back from commercial break, and they exchange blows. They're going at an extremely fast pace. So Dolph tangles him up on the top rope. He hits a huge drop kick right in the face. Only gets a 2 count. So basically, Dolph charges. Kofi moves out of the way. Ziggler goes shoulder first into the ring post. Kofi hits a huge splash off the top rope. Only gets a 2 count. You know that frog plancha he likes to do? He goes for the springboard axe handle off the second rope. Ziggler gets the knees up. Dolph dodges Trouble in Paradise and locks in the sleeper. Kofi escapes. This time hits SOS, but Ziggler gets the rope break. It was really nice, actually. So Ziggler rolled to the outside to catch his breath. And Kofi goes for the plancha. Big E blocks it, and he takes the hit. So Big E goes down. While Kofi's distracted, Ziggler nails the Famouser on the outside and rolls Kofi back in, hitting the zigzag on the very groggy Kofi Kingston for the 1-2-3. So, not bad at all. About 6 minutes and 48 seconds that was aired. Who knows how long was in... I would say it's probably about a 10-minute match if I had to guess. A little bit longer. Good match, actually. So, Big E Langston hits the Waste of Space finisher, you know, the one that doesn't even hurt, on Kofi. And that's going to be the end of it. So, we get a recap on the internet-spoiled Fandango Chris Jericho altercation on Monday. And you know what? Fandango is very much growing on me. I have liked Johnny Curtis since the first day I've seen him step in the ring on Smackdown. And I love this Fandango persona. Now I'm going to say something that has not been said yet, and I don't know why it hasn't been said yet. I think I figured out where Johnny Curtis's Fandango voice is from. You take Val Venus, and you mix him with Goldust, and you have Fandango. He's got that raspiness like Morley's voice, and then you have the elongated O's like Goldust would do back in the day. So yeah, Val Venus and Goldust mixed together with Rico Constantino's gear and a little bit of the Disco Inferno thrown in for a good measure. So yeah, this is an amalgam of a lot of awesomeness. But anyway, I love Fandango. Fandango's incredible. And basically, this is all predicated on the fact that Chris Jericho cannot pronounce his name correctly. Well, I know he can, but obviously he doesn't want to. So because Fandango wants people to pronounce his name correctly, he's going to go after people. So I like this. I think it works really, really well. But, you know, I don't know why the United States champion, Antonio Cesaro, is not booked for a match on Mania. But we'll get to that as we get to his segment, and that's a couple segments down the road. So, we come back from commercial break. We get the Raw rebound. You know, okay, here's the thing. I don't care about the Raw rebound because I saw it on Raw. I don't need to see it again. That is what shows like Saturday Morning Slam and shows like the Main Event are for. They're for recap shows. If you want to do a recap show, but my God, give me original content on the big two shows. Is that too much to ask? Really? I don't want to see what happened on Raw because I've already seen what happened on Raw. However, I understand the placement for it because the fact that you need to put over to people that didn't watch Raw. Or people that need to be reminded of what happened on Raw. As if someone didn't watch Raw that's going to watch Smackdown. And vice versa. But then again, I know a lot of people on the internet that watch one program and not the other. I know a lot of people that watch SmackDown, people that like wrestling matches, and they didn't really get that many tonight. And a lot of people watch Raw, but like the storylines, which they have a lot more than they should have at this point. Especially going to WrestleMania, it makes total sense you'd have a lot of storyline and a lot of storyline progression. Especially for the fact that you don't have The Rock on Raw all the time. So you have to go back and you have to use video packages and promos to be able to still put that match over, even though it's pretty much a made match, regardless how you look at it. So we come back, and Sheamus and Big Show are arguing once again about strategy, when Randy Orton comes in, once again to play the voice of reason. Like I said, it's a little too strange right now that Randy Orton is trying to play matchmaker for this team, and you know, honestly, this really is the writing on the wall. This is building to that heel turn at Mania when he RKO's Sheamus and leaves him for the Shield. So, and I have no problem with that, because I want to see Sheamus and Randy Orton go at it, because I think Randy Orton is a god-awful babyface. And I don't know why he is a babyface. They're trying to make him like a Stone Cold style babyface, and you know what? It doesn't work with Randy Orton. It just doesn't. He's too much of a despicable human being. Not in real life, no, obviously not. But character-wise, he's too much of a despicable human being to do anything nice and without it benefiting him. And obviously this is to benefit getting rid of the Shield. So, who knows what's going to happen with this. But, basically, excuse me. Alright, now, we recap Raw once again, showing when Ricardo Rodriguez got his ankle broken by Jack Swagger on Monday night. So Alberto is not here this evening, so he is with Ricardo while he's convalescing. And basically, he's not on television, so we don't get the World Champion on the World Champion show, technically. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But it makes sense because he's basically taking care of his fallen friend. So we have Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger in the ring. Zeb says, in Jack Swagger's America, bones will be broken if they have to be. This is a message to anybody and everybody who disagrees with what they say. We, the people. We, and then Jericho's music hits, and he comes out. And we've got a rematch from last week's Smackdown main event between Chris Jericho and Jack Swagger. And as usual, we come back from a commercial break. Swagger catches Jericho with a big boot. And Swagger is just tearing Jericho apart limb from limb. Basically, Jericho fights back, crowns him off the top, corners Swagger, and hits a couple elbows, and goes for the 10 punch, but Swagger escapes, going for the powerbomb. Jericho attempts to reverse an Arana, but in doing that, Swagger locks in the Patriot Lock. Jericho escapes, hits Swagger with a kick, and Fandango's music hits. So him and his concubine come out through his perfectly made entrance of streamers and awesomeness, and he comes down the ramp, and basically Jericho turns around, gets caught with a belly-to-belly, only gets a 2 count. Fandango looks on the outside. Swagger goes for a short arm clothesline, Jericho reverses into a roll-up, but this time Swagger rolls out of the codebreaker attempt, Jericho locks in the walls, and Swagger escapes. Zeb distracts the ref just long enough for Fandango to get up on the apron and high-angle kick Jericho, allowing for Swagger to get the victory as the ref turns back around. So, the match was a lot better than last week, but I like these two in the ring. I think they have interesting chemistry, so continue these guys facing each other, so it works. So Fandango gets in the ring after the match, and he beats down Jericho with some stomps. Keeps screaming, "What's my name?" over and over again. Which, of course, he goes into his Johnny Curtis voice, because that's just how he does. When he yells certain things, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, when Johnny Curtis says certain things, he can be like Fandango. But sometimes he's just like Johnny Curtis, and it's funny to watch him go in and out of character. And that's what he was doing. He goes to the top rope, rubs his chest seductively, and he dives off with a guillotine leg drop. So he grabs the mic and says his name is Fandango right in Jericho's face before he poses. So you know what? I like this. I like this a lot. And Jericho and Fandango, if the trigger is pulled at WrestleMania, and I'm sure we'll either find out on Monday on Raw or on Friday night on SmackDown exactly if it's going to be pulled, and I'm sure it will, because you have a lot of build-up. This time, Jericho is going to have to get the upper hand, though, so we can show that he can get the upper hand without Fandango really getting anything at all. So it's going to be a good wrestling match at WrestleMania, because Curtis can go, and I think it's going to be awesome. And it's going to surprise a lot of people. It's probably going to be a sleeper match for the evening, if I had to guess. So backstage we have Matt Striker, once again, sans mustache. Darn you, Cody Rhodes. And he's with the Big Show. Big Show agrees with Randy Orton. He says they will be able to trust him as much as they trust each other. And in sheer Jake Roberts fashion, he just looks and says, "Trust me." Keep that in mind. So, commercial break happens, and we get back to the same Rockin' Cena video package we've seen for the last 2 weeks. But I'll tell you right now, it's a very well done video package, and the WWE puts together phenomenal video packages. And you know, it's really getting us ready for WrestleMania. This John Cena Rock 2 match is going to be good. And there's a lot of heat on it, but there's not as much as there could be given the fact that The Rock has to promote 3 movies in the span of 3 months. So, basically, it works really well. I like it a lot. And I can't wait for Cena Rock at Mania, I'm not going to lie. All the matches have been built up rather well. And even though it's the 11th hour booking, it still is working because we still have 2 weeks to get everything completely put together. So, we'll see what happens on Raw this week. So, in the ring, we have the Rhodes Scholars with the Bella Twins. And here comes Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea, and we got ourselves a tag team title match. Not tag team title match. Why did I say title match? Tag team match, obviously. Now, once again, I have to reiterate the fact, didn't they break up the Rhodes Scholars already? Yeah, they had their breakup, and they had their one-night reunion, and now they're back together, so let's just forget about the fact they broke up. We don't want to think about that at all. They've been tag team the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. They never broke up. Yay, WWE logic. Makes no sense sometimes. So, of course, they're out with Naomi and Cameron, the Funkadactyls, and Tensai and Cody start us off, and Tensai knocks Cody down, missing a splash. He tags in Brodus. Brodus corners Cody, hits him with a big splash. The Bellas and the Funkadactyls are going at it at ringside, so both men get involved, all 4 men get involved to pull their ladies apart, and we have a no contest. So, this match will happen again. I'm sure it'll happen. I would say probably on the road to WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania unless it's part of the hour-long pre-show. So, unless it's part of the hour-long pre-show, I don't know if these 4 men are going to be at WrestleMania. Or the 4 women, mind you. So, they're given the fact that the Divas 5-on-5 match that we heard about was supposed to happen is not going to happen now. So, who knows what they're going to do with the Divas division at WrestleMania. Usually, it's involved somewhere towards the main event, so we can have like a popcorn break, no offense, Juliet, for the match and for the main event to cool everybody down from a hot semi-main before it. But who knows what they're going to happen this year. Booking makes some sense sometimes. Sometimes placement doesn't make the most sense. So we'll find out sooner rather than later. So we get a non-title match between 2 guys that have been feuding for quite a while. That are finally back to feuding, I guess. Or just having a one-off. With The Miz and Antonio Cesaro. So I love the Cesaro shirt. I want one. I'm going to get one sooner rather than later. As soon as I get more money in the mail, I'm probably going to get a Cesaro shirt. Because I really want one. So, okay. Let's make some sense out of this. Alright. The Miz is feuding loosely right now with Wade Barrett. Now, he was loosely feuding with Antonio Cesaro, but that seems to have been dropped. Miz has won non-title matches over Cesaro in the past. Yet, comes up every single time, the loser whenever they face off for the title. So now he's going after Barrett's Intercontinental Championship. And really hasn't had a one-on-one match yet. So I'm guessing that's going to be Mania when they're going to face off for the IC title. But where does this leave Antonio Cesaro? And why is the United States Champion losing a non-title match to someone he's not even facing? Anyway, let's get to the actual match. So Barrett's on commentary for this, so you know that's gold. And basically, Cesaro locks in the side headlock. Miz escapes, goes to the Irish Whip. He turns around, catches a roll-up, only gets a 2 count. Miz charges. Cesaro hits a knee strike right to the temple to get the control. Cesaro hits the double boot stomp, and he deadlifts the Miz for the gut wrench, only gets a 2 count. He picks Miz up by the ear, grabbing in a chin lock. Miz escapes this time and crowns Cesaro off the top. He goes for the figure 4, Cesaro escapes this time, he locks in another, and Cesaro tap, tap, tap like Sammy Davis Jr. So, I don't understand what's going on with that at all. Cesaro, God, take the belt off of him if you're not going to do anything with him. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's like not pushing Dolph Ziggler when he's the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Finally, they got their head out of their behind to be able to figure out that you need to push Ziggler before he goes after the briefcase win. Because everyone knows when he cashes in, he's going to win the championship. So you got to build him up. You can't just break him down every week. Same with Cesaro, and tenfold with Cesaro. When it comes down, he is the United States Champion. Now, granted, that's probably maybe the 3rd or 4th belt on the roster right now, when it comes to the totem pole of championship importance, but when it comes down to it, honestly, it makes no sense whatsoever to have Miz and Cesaro face each other for the title. Cesaro goes over. Okay, fine, I get that. It makes sense, he's the champion. You have Miz and Cesaro face each other, non-title, Miz goes over. Okay, that's fine. Do another match so you can get the belt on the Miz, if that's what you really want to do. But no, that's not what you do. You take the Miz away from this feud with Cesaro, and you put him in with Wade Barrett, and you put him into the Intercontinental title picture. You do that three-way with Chris Jericho on Raw, which ended up with bringing us to Miz against Barrett at Mania. It hasn't been officially announced, but I'm sure it will on Raw if it's not next week, because you need 2 weeks to build up to it. And on Smackdown this week, you have Cesaro lose clean to The Miz. It makes no sense at all, and I'm a Miz fan, as you well know. But I don't understand why this happened. It makes no sense. And Cesaro's not even on the WrestleMania card, and he's one of your champions. So that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand why you do this, because what you're doing is you're devaluing the United States Championship. Now, granted, I understand titles or belts or props, and they're just used for storyline progression. I get that. I get that personally. The IWC get that. But when it comes down to it, the average mark you're going to meet on the street is going to think that nice shiny gold belt that Cesaro is wearing actually means something. And you know what? For storyline, it does. And you don't need to devalue your championships. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're treating the United States Championship, which has a lineage that takes all the way back to the 1900s, all the way back to it meaning about as much as Zack Ryder's internet title. So it makes no sense at all, and you know what? They need to start building Cesaro up now, or just take the belt off of him. Come on, I mean, you gotta do something at this point. Obviously, he has no feud for WrestleMania, and his match was supposed to be with The Miz, and now he's pushed towards Wade Barrett, which of course the Intercontinental title is more important because it is the WWE Championship, and the US title came from the NWA and WCW, so it's not as important in Vince McMahon's eyes. So needless to say, I really wish, at this point, they would figure out what they're doing with Cesaro. You push him, you don't push him, you take the belt off of him, you keep it on him, whatever you want to do, just don't leave everyone hanging. It makes no sense whatsoever for him to lose this match. Just like I was saying in the past, it doesn't make much sense for Dolph Ziggler to lose right now when all he needs is momentum leading up to his eventual cash-in of Money in the Bank. So, I mean, that's pretty much just, it agitates me so much, because you could do so much with Cesaro, and you're not. You put a belt on him, and you pretty much forget about it. So, I don't know what they're going to do with him at this point. I hope we rectify this on Raw and Smackdown this week, so we can get Cesaro at least a match at Mania. If you're going to take the belt off of him, take the belt off of him, but keep him strong. I mean, my God. It makes no sense. So, now I get off my soapbox for a second. We once again go back to Raw, and we see Triple H and Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar's altercation leading up to their no-holds-barred match with Triple H's career on the line. Okay. This match could have a lot of heat. Could have a whole lot of heat. And it does. It makes sense that it would. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Triple H struck first blood. Literally. So, this match is going to have a lot of heat. You could do a lot of things with it. You could make it an MMA-style match, with Brock Lesnar would have to win. You make it a Hell in a Cell match, which I don't know why they didn't, honestly. It makes no sense. But what you don't do is no holds barred. Okay. It's a no DQ match. Okay. Triple H's career is on the line. Okay. Okay, a guy who is not retired, but as good as retired at this point. Obviously, he's going to come around for a couple of matches here and there, but he's basically done. His career is done, and now he's going to be working for the office. I get that. That makes total sense, because he's planning for the future. However, you're putting his career on the line. You're setting up Lesnar to win. Obviously, he's not going to win at WrestleMania. And you obviously have to have Triple H get his win back, and then after that, you have to take Lesnar off television a while and build him up so he can feud with The Rock, so he can face The Rock at Mania in 30 next year. But that's what you do with that. But it doesn't make much sense, and the stipulation should have been a lot stronger. I mean, I still think we're going to see Shawn Michaels in the corner of Triple H at WrestleMania, obviously defending the fact that he's another person that got his arm broken. But when it comes down to it, there's so many things you could talk about right now with this feud, and there should be a lot further than they actually are. And it's sad, because honestly, it could be a lot more powerful feud, given the fact that this match stipulation is terrible. It doesn't need to happen. Obviously, Triple H's matches are hardcore matches, or garbage matches. Not necessarily garbage matches, but I mean, no DQ matches. I mean, he does this all the time. So, I don't understand why you do it again. And There could have been a better stipulation on this match. I think they dropped the ball on this once again. So we get to our main event, which the one thing I will say is they gave three-man band the main event spot. I know they're going to job in like 6 minutes, and they do. But when it comes down to it, they gave them the main event spot, and that's fine. So they come to the ring. You bring out your baby faces first. You bring out Randy Orton. You bring out Sheamus. And then you bring out the Big Show. And then after that, three-man band actually got an entrance, and they came out last. So, basically, Orton started off with Jinder Mahal. Orton dominated out of the gate. He hit the 10 count, punches, tagged in Sheamus. Sheamus corners Mahal, and the ref pulls Sheamus away with Mahal attacking. You get a couple strikes in. Sheamus escapes with a knee strike to the midsection. He lifts Mahal up and hits his rolling senton, which, you know, the Finley roll. The flipping forward fireman's carry. Say that 5 times fast. And Big Show is cheering him on the ring apron. So Sheamus is giving overhand chops as Big Show smiles on. So Drew McIntyre's in with the Big Show now, and so is basically throwing Drew on the apron. He goes for the clubbering, you know, the Sheamus clubbering blows to the chest. He grabs Jinder, tosses him into the ring. Jinder doesn't want anything to do with him, tags in Heath Slater. So Show tosses him in and then suddenly tags in Randy Orton. And he goes for the snakebite DDT. Mahal interjects this time, and Slater hits a nice standing side kick and gets the near fall. All of a sudden, Orton is isolated in the 3MB corner, and they tag in and out left and right like a well-oiled machine. Slater goes upstairs but gets caught in midair with a dropkick from Orton. Show gets in, Mahal gets in. Show harpoons the daylights out of Jinder Mahal. And Drew gets in with a big boot on the Big Show to distract him momentarily. Tags in Sheamus, brogue kick, and 1, 2, 3. Yay. So, 6 minutes. Big Show's frustrated because Sheamus stole the win. Orton tries to settle them down, once again playing the voice of reason. Here comes the Shield. So they make their way down as Sheamus and Show are fighting in the ring. Orton tries to break it up again. Show pushes him off. Orton pushes Show back, and here comes the Shield surrounding the ring like a pack of wolves. So they manage to get on the same page momentarily, and the Shield decide to go back into the crowd, living to fight another day. Decent show tonight. And everything building up logically to WrestleMania, like it should, and more intrigue added to all the matchups. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, my nice soapbox I was on about Antonio Cesaro a little bit ago, that's the biggest travesty of the entire show. And overall, it was a decent show. I mean, it wasn't the greatest show. Okay. It was alright. I mean, obviously I liked Impact better. But, it's just how it goes. It means the road to WrestleMania, so a lot of things are going to happen that wouldn't normally happen, so there's always that. We'll find out Monday on Raw exactly what's going to happen with that, and the road to WrestleMania continues, and we are, like I said, we're 2 weeks away, and tomorrow we are going to do AJ's weekend movie reviews, and we'll talk about that. We got to watch Olympus Has Fallen, as well as The Croods in 3D and Admission last night. So we're going to be talking about those. And in the near future, we're going to be talking about other things as well. Next week, we're going to Stoker. Stoker is in Athens now. We're going to watch that. And Athena Grand is actually getting Spring Breakers. So we're going to get a nice way to end the end of March. So it's going to be cool. But I'm going to get off here, and I gotta leave in about 10 minutes for work, so this video will hopefully be uploaded at some point during the day. If not, I'll do it tonight when I get home. So until tomorrow, for AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews, that's all I gotta say about that.